In part 1 of A Day in the Life of Dr. Fisha, we take a look at Dr. Senathi Fisha's private library, a treasure trove of knowledge, imagination, and inspiration. This is where we also take a close look at the books that influenced Dr. Fisha to become who she is and who she aspires to be.
Here, these ones are just about the universe, great books, and then political books here. I always like to read this one of I Have a Dream, because it's I'm always dreaming, always dreaming, and I also like to read a lot on national, different types of countries, how their rulers has been, as you can see. And I use a lot of psychology also. You see, we do have a book on Freud. Freud can be the old guy, but he's got a lot of information relating to how you should understand a human being. And if you really want to have understanding of how people behave, you need to understand yourself first, and then you can generalize it to the other people. Studying this one, the brain of a human being, to understand different parts of the brain, how they function, so that you can understand why other people are aggressive, others are kind, others are corrupt, others are obsessed, and it makes you be able to really live with people, because you know each and every part of this brain has got its own function. And when maybe something is not right with that function, then automatically the main brain or the whole brain may not necessarily function. It's all about human behavior. So this is my guidance. I look at it all the time. It's on finance. You see, if you look at all this, it's just all about finance. It's all about finance, because you need to understand the financial health of the country before you can say, I'm going to change it. Economics are the most important part of our living, and as it is, we've got a lot of poor people. How can you turn their lives around? How can you create jobs? How can you make, increase their quality of life? So I've got a lot of these books here. And of course, I've got a lot of, I'm also religious. I talk the Bible, I read Bible books, just to understand what actually happened for us to reach this level. Who is the main caretaker for us? So you see, I read all these books. When I have problems, I know where to go, and I know how to understand who's really taking care of us. How did this world be where it is, and how can we ask for help from God? And then I also, because I studied law, I also refer a lot to legal guidelines when I do anything, and hence you realize that I'm highly I've read a lot of books. I've contacted a lot of people around the world, and I've spoken to influential people just as a way of understanding how they actually started. This is a book on African twilight. It's one of the books that I read every now and then just to understand the history of Africa and why people are not taking it this serious, and who stole this belief system from us, and how rich is Africa, what can we do to improve the African life, because when we look at South Africa, we find that they are the people that are, black people are the people that are actually quite poor, very, very facing abject poverty. How can we create food security and restore our own culture? So I read a lot of books. You know, me, I believe so much in the African culture because I practice it myself. Most of the time, my life is all about Africanism and teaching people how to restore their own culture.
Dr. Fisha Ramorada. Fisha Ramorada. Dr. Fisha Ramorada.